Good day, everyone. Welcome to Module 3 of the Introduction to Cybersecurity on the Cisco Networking Academy platform. This is Module 3, and we'll be looking at the topic protecting your data and privacy. In this module, we'll be treating protecting your devices and network, data maintenance, who owns your data, right? And we're going to be looking at how to develop strong passwords. We also look at safeguarding your online privacy. Remember, in our previous modules, we talked about our online identity and normal identity. And lastly, we'll be treating discover your own risky online behavior. So, that's going to explain ways to enhance your security of online data. Let's dive into it. Protecting your device and network. So, there are some tips you need to have in mind as a user of the internet or user of technology in order to protect yourself from cyber attackers. So some of the tips include the first one, you have to turn on your firewall. So you should at least have or use one type of firewall, and the firewall can either be set up on your PC, right? It could be a software installed on your PC, or it's a physical device or that is connected to your router. So the reason for the firewall is to protect your device from unauthorized access. So firewall should always be turned on and constantly updated to prevent hackers from accessing your personal or organizational data. The next tip is install antivirus and anti-spyware softwares. So malicious softwares such as viruses and spyware are designed to gain unauthorized access to your computer data. And once these malwares are installed on your PC, it can destroy your data. They can slow your computer down. They could even take charge of your computer on the network, and they can send emails without your permission or carry out activities on your PC without your permission. Then for spywares can actually monitor your online activities, even your offline activities sometimes, and they can collect these activities and send them to a remote hacker. Sometimes you'll find out that you see unwanted ads, unwanted messages. So those are like call them symptoms of spywares. Another tip you should have in mind or have at the fingertips is manage your operating system and browser. So hackers are always trying to take advantage of operating systems or web browser vulnerabilities. So it's important for you to always set your security level on your operating system to highest or at least medium level. Alright, so you should also regularly update your computer operating system and your browser. The reason why updates and patches are released regularly are to enhance security most of the time. The last tip you should always have as a user of the internet or user of technology is setting up password protection. Ensure all your computer devices are password protected. This prevents unauthorized access from your devices. So stored information, especially sensitive or confidential data, are mostly stored in your gadgets. So you should always encrypt those data or protect your devices at least from unauthorized access by setting up strong passwords. When we dive deep into passwords, we're going to look at how to set up strong passwords. Now let's look at the wireless network security at home. The wireless network allows Wi-Fi enabled devices to connect to the network by the way of an SSID. Right, so your wireless router can be configured to not broadcast its SSID, but there needs to be an adequate security for your wireless network. Hackers will be aware of the preset SSID and default password, so it's very important that you change the default SSID to a custom SSID and change the default password to a custom password, because once an hacker knows that it's a particular kind of router you're using, they can always just simply go and check online, get the default SSID, and from there they can um, create a, a duplicate Wi-Fi or internet access with the same SSID, you know the password, and your device can log into that or connect to that particular Wi-Fi network without validation. Furthermore, you can encrypt wireless communication by enabling wireless security and the WPA2 encryption feature on your wireless router. But even the WPA2 encryption has a vulnerability that was discovered 2017. Now, this vulnerability um, is called or it's called cracks, right? So key reinstallation attacks. This was used by attackers to break into the encryption between a wireless router and a wireless device, so giving them access to network data, and from there they do their job, their dirty jobs. So this flow affected or is affecting all modern Wi-Fi networks. And to mitigate this solution, you should always update your wireless devices as soon as security updates and patches are available. And in the cases where you can use a network interface card, or maybe your device has a network interface port, always use a wired connection to your router. This helps your um, this helps secure you better, right? Or you could use trusted VPN services to access your wireless network. So this helps in conceal a huge amount of your activity on the network. Let's look at public Wi-Fi risks. When you're away from home, you can access your online information and surf the internet via public wireless networks or Wi-Fi hotspots, right? But there are a lot of risks involved in connecting to public Wi-Fi network. A hacker can also be connected to that network and be listening for packets that are being transmitted over the network. And by using this some of their tools, they can get to know your password, they can get to know the kind of site you visit, they can get to know your identity because you are using those because you're using the public wireless network, and your data may not actually be encrypted. So it would help if you continuously verify that your device is not configured with file and media sharing and requires user authentication with encryption. Because once file and media sharing are enabled on your device, for example your PC, anybody that is connected to that network will be able to access your files. The only next step of protection for that kind of let's say issue lying around is that your files are password protected, or nobody can gain access to those files without encrypting your passwords. But then there are also ways to enforce past passwords these days. So you should also use an encrypted VPN service to prevent others from intercepting your information. That is known as eavesdropping. That's exactly what I was explaining previously for a public wireless network. So if you're working in an organization, you know most times organization will give your organization might give you a PC to use, and let's assume you forget your MiFi, a portable pocket Wi-Fi at home, so you can connect to a public network using a VPN. Now, using a VPN helps to secure and encrypt your connection um, between or to the internet, right? So it stops hacker from being able to eavesdrop on the packets that you are sending over the network. So even hackers intercept a data transmission in an encrypted VPN tunnel, they cannot decipher it due to the advantage of using VPNs. So what about strong passwords? Here are a few tips for you to help you when choosing your strong passwords or when creating passwords. Do not use dictionary words or names in any language. Very, very bad. A lot of people use that. Do not use common misspellings of dictionary words. I have actually done this before. I'm guilty of this one. If possible, use special characters such as your exclamation mark, your at sign, your pound sign, dollar, percentage, carat, your ampersand, asterisk, and your parentheses. Do not use computer names for account names or account names. Use a password with more than 10 characters. more than 10 characters. There's a new standard. I know before it used to be 4, then it changed to 8. Now it's even 12. All right. Ensure your password is longer than 10 characters. This gives hackers a tougher time to decipher your password. You can also use passphrases, right? If you notice, um, in some blockchain applications or cryptocurrency trading applications, passphrases are enabled. So passphrases are way more harder to crack than passwords because they are longer. So it will help if you consider using passphrases instead of password to prevent unauthorized access to your device. Now, passphrases in the sense now of using a long sentence as a password. So a passphrase generally takes the form of a sentence. For example, acts that love dogs. So you can see the a cat that loves dogs, right? A cat that loves dogs. This is actually a statement, right? And there's a full stop, there's a space, there's an at sign, there's a number. So you can see all this. It will take a longer time for a hacker to be able to crack this particular password. It's way better than just having to write a cat that loves dogs plainly. So making it easier for you to remember because it's only you that know or come up with a statement. So here are a few tips for choosing good passphrases. Choose a statement that is meaningful to you, meaningful to only you, and not a statement that your friends may know you to always say. Add special characters. Replace letter E for number. Replace letters for numbers, right? Not conventional ones. But everybody always use letter replace letter E with 3. The longer your passphrase is, the better. Avoid common and famous statements for your passphrases. Avoid using popular lyrics from songs or popular quotes as your passwords. It's going to be easier to crack. So the United States National Institute of Standards and Technology has published improved password requirements. Right, so the NIST standards are intended for government applications, but can also serve as a standard for other sectors. These guidelines aim to place responsibility for user verification on service providers and ensure better experience for users overall. Now, these rules or these guidelines states that passwords should be at least 8 characters, but not more than 4 characters. Common, easy guess passwords such as password or ABC123 should not be used. No composition rules should exist, including lower and uppercase letters and numbers. Users should be able to see the password when typing to improve accuracy. All printing characters and spaces should be allowed. There should be no password hints. There should be no password expiration period. There should be knowledge-based authentication, such as providing answers to secret questions or verifying transaction histories.